Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so in the bottom right hand corner we have got, hailing from Germany I assume, we have got Ole, and he's gone for the Erid, wait, what are these guys called again? Not Erid Lewin. Yes, Erid Lewin. Sorry, I've just gone crazy for a second. Erid Lewin, the Blue Dwarves, who were always considered OP. And in the top left-hand corner, we have got none other than the pro, the amazing Spartacus. Now, I'm not saying this guy is the best RTS player to ever grace the universe, but I did once see him beat 7 StarCraft pros just with one toe. So, he's pretty damn good at RTS. I cannot tell a lie. And Spartacus has gone for the classic Rohan. I feel like Rohan has been very powerful for a very long time. Don't tell that to Elite Cryptic though, because he always thought that they were underpowered. But then he did just absolutely love Rohan. These days they have been strong for a very long time, especially with their spell powers in the early game are very, very strong. So Spartacus going for a creep. This was the original type of creeping that everybody used to do with the Scout Hero and 2 Sword Battalions. Looks like Ole is, the uppercut to Mary, and he's lost a few peasants there. Not perfect creeping. That was like a Dimitri creep right there. Ripped all those peasants. But the troll should go down here, and it does. However, we've got Ole here bringing over some pikes. 1 sword battalion and 1 pike battalion of dwarves is probably going to be enough to deal with these couple of Rohan peasants, especially since they've been so heavily damaged by the troll. And Spartacus is just actually going to have to retreat here. So it looks like Ole is going to be able to pick up this troll. And Spartacus invested a lot. Yeah, this is the fella creeping. You don't realise this, Saloikos, but basically everything that gets done in Edain was fella originally. No, I'm only joking. But it looks like here, Ole is going to be able to grab this troll, and Spartacus invested all of his time in creeping this troll. Ole over here has simultaneously been creeping some goblins, so it looks like he knows the map pretty well. And I like this decision here from Ole. He's not actually creeping the rubble. It looks like Spartacus might try and target it, but he's getting absolutely destroyed here at the moment. A little bit risky to go for that, destroy that rubble. Rohan peasants are going to come in, and they actually grabbed one of the 4, sorry, there. Dwarf, he is drunk. Potentially. Oh, did I put 2 W's in? Let me, Oh, no, I didn't. No, we're all good. We're all good. I don't know what you're talking about, Tom. Tommy 93. I'm a 94, so, good to see somebody my age over here watching Edain. So it looks like, Spartacus is going for the peasant spam. Real big heavy defeat, to start with. If I'm being honest, for Spartacus, he invested so much in getting this, and Ole's looking like he's playing very, very standard here. He's just grabbed 2 inside eco buildings. I don't dislike it. He's actually missed this 1 eco building out here, which is half the price of the inside ones. Hey Moga, how are you? I always preferred getting the outside farms more than anything else. Although, having said that, Spartacus is coming over to try and harass here, and he's not going to be able to find anything. Although he can build a farm. I wonder if Ole maybe doesn't realise about that farm. He's doing very nice splitting on his creeping, though. I think he even used some of the mine shafts there to be able to pop out. This is what I used to like doing with the dwarves, is I would put some pikes and swords in the mine shafts, kind of get mine shafts all over the map, and then pop them out just to creep. And you can kind of grab the map pretty quickly. So Spartacus has realised nothing is here, and he's coming to harass over on this side. Let's have a think about the different advantages that the players have at the moment then. So Spartacus looks like he's going for a full flour mill strategy. He is going for a stud farm now, which discounts cavalry. Now the problem with the dwarves here is they can't really chase down these peasants due to being slower. Looks like both players pretty even on the inside economy at the moment. We have got dwarves with a couple outside farms. But I think it's actually in favour of Spartacus slightly, the outside eco. He's grabbed the entire half of his map. And he's starting to harass these farms over here with these peasants. And unfortunately, the dwarf player has not grabbed this farm, which is actually quite a big deal. Spartacus doing some nice harassing. These dwarves over here trying to clear it up, though. The one thing that that Ole has definitely got the advantage of to start with is the amount of creeping that he's been doing. He's been creeping all over the place. Is Ole a known player? Well, he's not Mogat, so if you're not Mogat, then you're not known, I guess. Ooh, is he going to lose? No, he lost a... oh, actually, yeah, there we go. He's just lost a level 2 battalion of swords. And it looks like with the help of Merry, these Rohan peasants are cleaning up the little dwarf army over here. Over on the other side. Again, this is... oh, so Dwarf's got enough units here to be able to fight them off. And he's also got Bilbo. On level... when is it? Level 10, Bilbo gets a really strong power that gives him a whole bunch of money, which will be really nice. So Rohan winning on one side of the field, but the Dwarves winning on the other. He's actually just trying to retreat here. So I would say Spartacus at the moment has got probably the map control advantage slightly, but definitely creeping is going to Ole here. And he's actually going for battle wagons, it looks like. Oh, nice. I do really like the strategy of going battle wagons. It's something that I always used to play Ered Lewin and not Ered Lewin, Erebor. I always used to play Erebor because Ered Lewin was always considered OP when I used to play. And to be fair, they were OP as all hell. So I'm only really used to playing Erebor, but I did definitely go for the battle wagons with Erebor. They have got new battle wagons now since patch 4.5, I believe the new battle wagons came in. I don't know if they're as effective as they once were. But we'll see how well it works for him here. Looks like Spartacus has only got this half a battalion, or even less than half a battalion of pikes in this little clump over here. He's got one battalion of upgraded, drafted peasants over here. But the dwarves are looking pretty strong, honestly. I was kind of expecting Spartacus to run away with this one. But so far, the dwarf player is not looking too bad. And these unupgraded, these undrafted peasant pikes are potentially not going to deal that much damage. I would love to see an oil barrel here. That would be lovely. Spartacus is going to be able to grab this farm. So Spartacus... oh, and he's just missed it. That would have been nice to hit onto those pikes. Speaking of which, they are on very low health now. Dwarves just pushing up further on the south side of the map. And Spartacus kind of winning the battle in the north. This battle wagon is a pretty big deal, actually. I would like to even maybe see some archers come out from the dwarves so they can try and grab the pikes and kill them off. A little bit of micromanagement here of Ole's dwarves as they're kind of just chilling, not really doing anything. Whereas Spartacus is just clearing up the creep in the north side. And Spartacus has already filled his base. Look at that macro skills right there, boys. Absolutely killing it in a game, Spartacus. Killing it in a game. And it looks like he's going to maybe go for some early upgrades. I doubt he's going to go for a base rush at this stage. I don't think his army is strong enough to be able to defend it. So I'm guessing this is... or maybe for eco upgrades he's going for here. Currently on level 1, but that would be really nice to get those early eco upgrades. Rohan should win the early game and mid game, but can't really finish. They're Saloikos. Yeah, so dwarves kind of, I guess, get stronger and stronger towards the late game as they get their superior upgrades. He could creep these walls with the pike if he wanted to, and then maybe push up here. He's deciding to grab a farm over here. Maybe have a couple units like this inside to try and defend. Spartacus doing a really good job of harassing the farms on the outside, but the map control is actually pretty even. Spartacus has got basically the entirety of the north, and Ollie or Ole, I'm not actually sure how to pronounce it. He's got the entirety of the south. Team Fella, yeah, I kind of wish I joined now, just for the lols. Although I didn't want to commit too much time to playing Edain, especially when I'm trying to get good at StarCraft, which is currently not really working out for me. But this nice clump of dwarves here, they should be able to compete with these peasants pretty easily. I think the peasants slightly outnumber them, but not by much. Again, dwarves just going around. He's trying to recapture some of the north side. Looks like Spartacus is trying to creep these wargs over here. So here's a little bit of an engagement that we might see. And I'm pretty sure that the dwarves should win this with their small clump. These guys are kind of not got the memo. Now they have. They're trying to run away. So yeah, pretty even on map control. Pretty even game so far, actually. And here we've gone for the exile camp. I used to love doing this as well. I would like rush the exile camp ASAP, get out those 3 cavalry battalions, and then just run riot all over the map. So it looks like Spartacus has gone for 3 flour mill strategy, and the rest he's gone for stud farm. So he's not actually... oh, he's got a couple over here, but he's not actually going for many of these outside peasant farm production buildings. But he's currently sitting on 5 barracks, basically. Obviously, the Rohan barracks are also farms. Now, this battle wagon's kind of hasn't done a whole lot. I always get hyped when I'm watching tournament streams. I know, right? Let's get hyped, boys. Let's get it. This guy here is just trying to poke people with a pitchfork, and he has died because of it. Rip. Now he's going to win this little engagement. It's very one side versus another side. No surrounds. Potentially Rohan could come into the back and surround. Although he has got the YOLO cab, which is going to do a huge amount of damage when there's no pikes here. So nice trample there. The pikes, unfortunately, trying to do the flank, but they've neglected to cover these swords with pikes. And they've actually all just died there, just to this YOLO cab, which was actually huge. Oh, he's actually gone for some unburnt already. And in comes the cavalry now of the dwarves with the battle wagon. It's on very, very low health, though. And don't forget that the YOLO cav is called YOLO for a reason. You do not care if it dies, which it has done. But this was actually cost resources, and it was a bit more of a bigger deal that it lost. But it looks like probably dwarves have actually won that fight and got some nice levels on both of their pike battalions. So despite wasting... despite losing that YOLO cav and me saying that it didn't really matter, actually, we've got 2 level 4 battalions from that YOLO cav trample. In the meantime, the exiles have come out from the exile camp. Let's have a quick look at CP. So Spartacus already sitting on the maximum of 1,100, which is pretty nice. Pretty high level in the tournament so far. Yeah, this is a pretty high level game as well, I would say. Spartacus, as the classic StarCraft player, is focusing heavily on his macro. Although, having said that, our dwarf player is not too far behind on the macro. He just needs another upgrade to catch up to Spartacus. He's not filling his CP at the moment, though. And it looks like he's going for almost all unburnt at the moment. So he's done a kind of tech switch to unburnt. Whereas Spartacus is staying on his peasant spam for now. He's actually got level 3 inside eco buildings already, which is pretty huge. Whereas our dwarf player is only sitting on level 1 outside and inside. Spartacus's outside is still on level 1. But I feel like Spartacus is going to start to run away with it here. And I do genuinely think that he is out-macroing our dwarf player at the moment. Because he's got level 3 inside eco. He's spamming a lot of peasants, which is nice and cheap. So he's not spending too much money on his actual army. Here he is, boys. Beaufort. Look at that. Look at that kind of polygon mustache right there. That is looking nice. So he's gone for Beaufort here, who I believe is a legit hero. He's got like a kind of a knockback ability. However, oh, and he's got upgrades as well. Oh wow. So we're basically going to see here the difference between going for very basic units and very little heroes with a spam, but then investing heavily in eco upgrades versus postponing the eco upgrades, or maybe not even going for them entirely, and going for our elite units and upgrades as well as a hero. Now, if you can get this hero out into the fight, that would be amazing. The unburnt here look a little bit vulnerable to this cavalry charge, which is going to come in, I am assuming, from Spartacus. Not quite charging in there, but he does get the trample off now. But these guys are going to be pretty tanky, right? So it might take quite a few tramples. Should really be covering them with pikes, though, because these are very, very expensive units. Elite units with upgrades. These cost about 700 resources each. We've got a level 5 battalion of pikes here and another level 4 one. Now, the problem here for Spartacus is this upgraded army, along with the heroes, this could be enough to completely fight for the map control, and that even though Spartacus has invested a lot in his economy, he may actually lose the economy battle if dwarves can control the entirety of the map. At the moment, though, we can see Spartacus is controlling the entire north side of the map with all of these farms. Dwarves struggling to hold on to the south side of the map, and as we can see, he hasn't got the entire control of it. So Spartacus is definitely ahead in economy at the moment. Ollie's looking good, apparently, according to Tommy. Yeah, he's looking good. I mean, he sacrificed his economy for a very early elite upgraded army with some heroes. I feel like he's kind of going to need to convert this into economy soon, though. Otherwise, he could really fall behind. Because at this... looks like Spartacus has gone for Eowyn here, which is nice. Going to be a good counter to the heroes. She's kind of inside another Rohan guy, though. Talk about disguise. That is an amazing disguise. She's actually become a man. Like, literally. Oh, wait. No. So, yeah. So, he's gone for Eowyn. Spartacus has got to be careful here, though, of running into these... With Eowyn running into these elite units. She could die very, very quickly. Looks like Spartacus has upgraded his exile camp as well. And dwarves actually just kind of camping in the base now. I don't really think this is the best decision. Because it's all well and good to have elite units and some heroes. But you're going to get to the point if you just give up the map that Spartacus is eventually going to be getting his elite units as well. And as we can see, soldiers of Mesodil here already being produced. And I'm assuming he's going to get ready to go for his upgrades. He's actually going for 3 rams here, guys. Oh, wow. He's going for 3 rams. It looks like he wants to end this right here, right now. I don't know if that's the wisest choice because he's super far ahead on economy right now. He has to be. He's got loads of CP available as well. If I was Spartacus, I would be tempted to maybe not go for this base rush at the moment. Maybe get some upgrades first, get a few extra heroes, and then go for it. But I think he's super confident in owning the entirety of the map. That he feels like he can just run away with this win at the moment. But he may be misjudging the strength of this Dwarven elite upgraded army. That he may not be able to actually push with this this base rush. However, having said that, these look very, very vulnerable now, these units. There's actually no heroes in here, and these are very, very expensive units that he's just taken out of his mineshaft. Now, if Spartacus was to bring over this entire Rohan army, he'd be able to sweep these up easily, and they're not going to be able to run away very easily either. I mean, I guess there is the mineshaft just here, but it looks like Spartacus hasn't gone for that, and he's actually just focusing on this base rush alone. Could be a little bit risky here. Could be a little bit risky. I would be very tempted, because yes, he's ahead on economy, but the longer you wait when you're ahead on economy, the further ahead you get. I would be tempted to maybe wait a little bit, at least get some upgrades on these peasants, right? Because these are just completely unupgraded. Most of them are drafted, but unupgraded peasants. Hopefully the soldiers of Mesodil are going to pull through for him. He has got Hammer and Eowyn as well. Well, we'll see what happens here. He's going for the base rush. The classic Edain siege of 4.5. The ram rush. And he has got lots and lots of cavalry if he can clean up these pikes. No cavalry archers, though, to pick them off. Oh, that is terrible positioning of the pikes, though. And the trample of the cav is actually going to be pretty good against those pikes, surprisingly, because it's going to knock them down. And they should get cleaned up by the rest of these peasants now. The dwarf player really needs to get his pikes in position, because one big trample, and we've got the YOLO cav here, one big trample on these units could be a big deal. He's actually used the last stand ability, which gives them plus 75% armor. But with the rest of his army out of position, I don't know if it's going to be enough. And Spartacus might be able to just run away with this one here. Out come the pikes with the flank now. Ooh, and Spartacus has just lost a lot of cavalry to charging into these upgraded level 5 pikes. He may be able to clear this up. And the other thing is, the last stand was used only on this small clump of army. It's not affecting any of these guys over here, although they are nicely upgraded. No heavy armor, but heavy armor has been researched. And he's actually gone for the plus 15% armor and damage on the upgrades. So he's further buffing his own upgrades with this power. Oh, the Galadriel are out. That is looking like that could be the GG right there. These Galadriel are so powerful that they're just going to cut down these units. And the dwarf player, probably quite smartly, has retreated into his base. But if Spartacus can pin him in the base here, he's going to be doing even better than he already is. However, look at the Rohan army. It was on around 1,000 CP. It's now currently only on 700. So he lost a lot in that fight. Let's have a look at the levels for the heroes here as well. If both were actually still alive, or did both have died? Did I miss that? Potentially both have died to the heroes of Spartacus, because I can't actually see him. So Spartacus is just continuing to push here with the peasant spam, just completely not going for the upgrades, and just going for mass rams and peasants. Which, I mean, it could be legit. You could just target the citadel with all these rams and just have a massive peasant club inside there. Oh, Eowyn on very, very low health here. Very close to dying. Do Rohan get a heal anymore? I'm not even sure if they do get a heal. We got the Ravens, which could debuff the armor a little bit. Look at these dwarves now. Like, this army is so strong from the dwarves. Not a lot of money to back it up. And this is what I'm saying. Like, Spartacus, he probably would have had a much easier time if he just waited, got some upgrades, and then pushed with the Rams. Maybe got a few more heroes, because he's got much higher. And look, he's maxing out on CP, but his entire CP is just unupgraded peasants. He's just continuing with the push, though. Could really, really feel like he could do with upgrading his units to compete with these upgraded units. And the longer he waits, the actually better he's going to be doing at the moment. Looks like these rams are going to get sniped off. So not the best micromanagement of these rams from Spartacus. It's just absolutely nuked instantly. And this is 300 resources that he's spending every time. So these 300 resources that he's spending into rams, you know, the dwarf player is using those resources for heavy armor. He's got a lower income rate, but he's actually spending his units on upgrades. Having said that, we've got Erkenbrand now summoning his 2 extra battalions. But look at them just get chopped down by the dwarves here. Especially the Unburnt. He's not actually using his charge attack though, which is probably a mistake. But how much is his CP dropping? Not by a lot. He's not getting surrounded here as well. So he's kind of he's in a bit of a choke point. And these unupgraded peasants really aren't going to be doing that much. That being said, Hammer is putting in some work over here. He's currently on level 6. I can't see where Eowyn is. She may have died. Apologies for the amazing casting right here and missing everything that's going on with the heroes. But who wants heroes in Edain, right? Spartacus, apparently. I mean, he's already built 2. So, look at this. Wow, the CP is dropping for Rohan. And this is also giving dwarves a lot of CP. A lot of spell points, sorry. So, dwarves started this fight on around 450 CP. And he's currently sitting on 330. Rohan started this fight on about 1000 CP. And here's actually Gandalf. Oh my goodness me. Gandalf is going to be huge here to these unupgraded peasants. Potentially, if he can get off the fireworks. Spartacus is just retreating. Is he going to use the fireworks? He is, and it's going to go into a clump. Oh my goodness me. 114 CP Spartacus is on now. Level 5 Unburnt the dwarf player has got. So as I was saying, you know, the army advantage really was in favour of the dwarves there. And potentially that was a mistake to push that early on without getting that army advantage. He had the economy advantage. He did not have the army advantage at that point. So he had the entirety of the map, but he needed to really upgrade his peasants and potentially get some extra heroes and use that extra economy, because he grabbed the economy by not investing that heavily in upgraded units or elite units. But then I'm guessing once you get the economy, you've really got to upgrade it, otherwise you're just gonna die. Oh my goodness me, says Jojo. That firework was actually huge. Why does Spartacus not have cav to kill the army? Well, all of his cav died to that to those pikes. He's actually got no pikes at the moment as well, and he's not buying any of the pikes. So a tech switch, I guess, but you can hardly call it a tech switch when you're playing as Rohan. To just go for those 3 exiles, which he is getting them now, could be quite a big deal. But these guys are going to be so tanky now. Level 5 Unburnt, fully upgraded. Like, these guys are kind of insane at the moment. It's unfortunate that it looks like he's probably lost Beaufort, though. And Spartacus has probably got the advantage in the heroes now. He's got Theoden out, who is very expensive. He's got Eowyn on level 5, which is going to be nice for killing some heroes. And I believe he's got Hammer somewhere. It was on level 6, but I'm not sure if he's actually died. The hero sign on the minimap here is actually the Raven, so that doesn't really count. But now he's going for upgrades. Okay, so now he's getting upgrades on his Soldiers of Mesodil. I feel like, yeah, get the upgrades. You know, get some cav archers with fire arrows. Why not? When you've got enough money to buy it. And then the siege is just going to be so much easier for you. You know, you don't want to overcommit to this push and lose a lot of your army again. In terms of spell points, so it looks like Spartacus, he's got this, he's got the alliance between elves and men, which is really, really strong, which is his level 6. But it looks like here the dwarf player's got Gandalf, which is 6 power points, right? And Final Stand, which is 5 power points, which is on recharge. And he's got an extra 3 in the bank. So I feel like that push with those unupgraded peasants gave a lot of spell points to the dwarves as well. YOLO Cav coming in, trying to deal some damage. Remember, there are no pikes in this dwarven army at the moment. But are these Unburnt just going to be tanky enough to just deal with... it looks like they are. Like, the Trample Revenge on these YOLO Cav, they're just actually getting killed. And just leveling up these Unburnt soldiers. I feel like he needs a mass of Cav to be able to deal with these Unburnt soldiers. Once he gets to a certain level, he'll probably be fine. But now it looks like the Dwarf is getting 2 battalions of pikes. Look at these level 5 upgraded Unburnt soldiers. Just charging into the Cav like a true Dwarf would. Just like, fuck you guys. I don't care that you're my counter. I'm a freaking dwarf, bitch. That is what I imagine they talk like. So he's going for Soldiers of Mesodil. This is what he needs. He needs upgraded elite units to combat these upgraded elite units. And he should be able to you know, he should be able to outspend the dwarf player. Seems though he still just dominates the map at the moment. He could be sending some units to harass over here. He's cleaning up some of the south side. He even left some of these south side buildings, it looks like, to the dwarf player. And then decided to go for the siege. Probably would have been wise to clean these up before he went for that siege. Mogat saying GG. Yeah, spear throwers would be nice as well. Is there any way to beat this unburnt? I mean, cav archers would be pretty nice. Mogat got salty after seeing that this well doing the most for the dwarf army. Absolute skill being rewarded right here, boys. Just reward levels for the skill of plopping your units next to a well. They're loving it though. For some reason, they like reproduce more often when they're near a well. I don't really understand how that works, especially since these guys all look like they are males. Although having said that, the dwarf females apparently have got beards as well, right? But yeah, apparently they just like to reproduce when they're near a well. I mean, go figure. So here we've got a bit of a stronger looking army. Almost maxed out in terms of CP. His income is not super duper amazing, but again, he's had level 3 inside eco. He's now got level 3 outside eco as well for much longer than the dwarf player. The dwarf player is actually starting to catch up in terms of his eco though. So Spartacus is catching up in terms of his army strength, but then the dwarves are starting to catch up with their eco as well. I feel like Spartacus had a massive opportunity to kind of just sit back, wait, build up his economy, get a really elite army, get plenty of heroes, and then push. At this point, not only have the dwarves retained and leveled up a lot of their elite units, but they're also starting to get a lot of upgrades. And like we said before, you know, Rohan is not amazing in the late game, whereas dwarves kind of improve themselves towards the late game. So the one thing though is that he's really not very good in terms of his CP. You know, if he had 1,200 CP of these units, he's used the last stand now. I would say that's a mistake because Spartacus is just going to run away. Like, what a waste of a very very strong ability when Spartacus can just run away with his speedier units. I would be tempted to use it once fake Haldia came out, right? Because then you can stand and fight if you need to against fake Haldia with the extra armor buff. So I would say that was a definite mistake. I don't think there's two ways about that. That was just a straight up mistake. I would also recommend that he got some pikes in these mine shafts so he can just pull them out rather than running back with his entire army and just QA moving. I don't know if he knows how to deal with horse archers. Yeah, potentially not. Horse archers are so strong, so strong. And they're so good against dwarves as well because the dwarves just can't run away, right? So he's come back with his entire he's just F2'd or Q'd his entire army and A moved, and then the cav is just going to be like, oh, there's dwarves there. I guess I better just ride away. And then he's going to move back with his Q'd army. And now it looks like this army is looking a lot more substantial. Maybe let's have a look at the CP here. He just needs to save some CP for his siege, which is why I said that siege should be 0 CP, and I still believe in that. Honestly, I know it sounds a bit weird, but I do believe that could be legit. What is the max here? The max is 1,500, right? So yeah, he's getting an extra 200 CP just in case. No heavy armor yet. That would be quite nice to see as well. Again, there's no rush here. You know, you're in a tournament game. There's actually no rush. I feel like Spartacus is definitely winning. If he engages poorly, though, he could, you know, he could let it slip. Because this dwarven army is just not falling in CP in these engagements. And, ooh, here are the bears. Now, I would switch them into bear form, and I would just run through these no pikes. Can he click them all, switch them into bear, and right-click them through the units? That is the question. It looks like he's managed to do it for one of them. Is he going to be able to do it for the other ones? Looks like he is not going to be able to do that. So what you need to do, Ollie, is you need to click them. Yeah, you can click them. You can press E. You could double click them. You could control click them. And then you need to click this button here. Bear human form. Then you need to right click in front of them. And then that would be a nice GG right there. What you could do though instead is you could bring them back into your base. You could have them looking pretty in a nice little diamond formation like this. with their nice abs, so that Goodfella can look at the abs. God damn, look at that. This is actually what I look like without a t-shirt on, by the way. And this is actually, I actually have a beard like this, and I wear these hats as well all the time, and these little skirts. What you really want to do when you summon the bears, you want to just put them in a diamond formation. You want to just leave them in your base. You just want to basically wait for this timer to run out. And then as soon as the timer runs out, you can leave again. Oh, and don't forget to put them next to a well so that they can, these single units can regenerate as well. So very, very good spell usage so far from our dwarf player. I'm just absolutely ecstatic to see it. Just looking absolutely amazing right now. The dwarf's just chilling out. And Spartacus is just building up his army. And he's got the Galadriel now. Now, if I was Spartacus, again, you still don't have to attack right now. You don't actually have to attack. It gets to the point where you don't need to wait anymore because you can just run over them. But you still don't need to attack. And this is actually a legit thing in StarCraft as well. Especially if you're playing, like, for example, Bio versus Mech in a TVT. When you're Bio and you're playing against a Mech player, sometimes it's good enough to just stop them from expanding. So stop them from, and that would be the equivalent of stop them from getting any outside farms or getting any outposts. By the way, Spartacus has grabbed another outpost here, and he's actually gone for the stables. So looking for maybe some cav archers to try and secure this victory. But yeah, just make sure that they don't expand. And just keep them on 2 bases or on 3 bases while you expand, grab control of the map, get loads of economy, and just kind of pin them down. And it is a legit thing in RTS to just kind of wait, get a good strong army, do some harass, get rid of the farms that he's trying to get back, and then push in with a big kind of timing attack with when you get fully upgraded. He could even go for extra barracks here. I mean, he's got a lot, so he probably doesn't need to. But with all these extra barracks, it gets to the point where you've got a very heavily upgraded army with lots of units. You can then do a massive push using some kind of timing attack with the... he's actually used them here now. So it's quite a nice move to try and use them to flank. Maybe it would have been better to save them for the base push. But he's just trying to catch as many units as he can. Although having said that, the dwarves are just going to surround them. And the tower as well. Nice. It's like we're seeing Blue Devil play here. But these guys are getting targeted, these Unburts at level 4, and they're kind of just surviving. Like, I don't think those Galadrim have done anything right there. Wow. So the heavy armor and the unburnt units have actually managed to just completely tank. Not even a single battalion was lost there. This guy is getting pretty close, this level 4 battalion, to being lost. But he's actually just run away now. Yeah, so I definitely would have been tempted to just keep hold, maybe, of that power and just save it for the base push once you've got enough upgrades, and then just hit with everything at the same time, right? And then you're just much more likely to be able to push through into this base. I can just guarantee you right now Spartacus is starting to get salty. Now look at this eco. This is what we want to see now. We've got 4k in the bank. That means that with your push, he's going for catapults now. I'm actually not 100% sure if that is the right decision either. He should really get heavy armor. He's got like 4k in the bank. Maybe trying to grab a few heroes, but he needs heavy armor as well here. None of these units have got heavy armor, whereas he's fighting against elite units that are fully upgraded. I would actually be tempted to go just purely rams at this point. There's the heavy armor being upgraded now. I'd be tempted to go for full rams at this point. Knock down the gate and then just push with everything at the same time. And just try and deal some kind of economic damage. I mean, the rams the catapults aren't terrible. But having said that, and here he is, he's getting salty now with the dot. Having said that, one war catapult is probably going to completely stop the catapult attack from Spartacus. Oh, but Ollie is saying that you won at GG, and Spartacus is giving the GG as well. So it looks like we're not going to have to wait for the siege here. The 2-well siege, and there he goes, he's left the game. So yeah, in the long run, he probably would have lost that. And he didn't want to see that painful siege there. So, very respectful, very honourable. Falling on his dwarven shield does Ollie. And he gives the GG after 30 minutes of intense Edain action. So yeah, the peasant spam won Spartacus the map control. Look at this drop in units though. Look at that drop in that engagement where he was unupgraded peasants versus upgraded unburnt units. That was a mistake in my opinion to engage at that point. And that probably made the game go on. Even though we wanted to end it earlier, that probably extended the game by a good like 15 minutes extra. Actually, It's not even 15 minutes extra there, but, you know, a good 10 minutes extra, perhaps. Where if you just waited and upgraded and got the army advantage and then pushed, he probably just would have absolutely crushed him. And as we can see, that fight didn't really affect the dwarves' army that much. You can see the 2 dips, but every time there's an engagement, but the dwarves kind of holding onto the units a little bit more, but Spartacus ran away with it in the end. Constant lead in structures with all that outside economy that he had, and look at that eco just really working for him towards the end of the game there, and the full score. It actually says that Ollie was ahead slightly in the early game, I guess because he grabbed that troll, right? But then Spartacus started to run away with it as he kind of out-harassed him and grabbed a lot of control of the map, and got all of those eco upgrades with that really good macro. So we've got 2.9 kill to death ratio, which is to be expected with those elite dwarf units versus Rohan peasants. Favorite unit Guardian of Eri Lewin and Rohan peasants for Spartacus. Nice. Heroes built 6. Heroes lost 10. Wait, how does that make any sense? You built 6 heroes and he lost 10. That's a lot of heroes to lose as well. 10 heroes. Maybe that's a glitch there. And then Ollie must have lost Beaufort because he built 2 heroes, Beaufort and what's his name? Bilbo, and lost them both. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed. And hopefully I'll see you in the next Edain stream. Maybe we'll see another epic siege or another epic comeback. So, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Good.